Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a new recording in Paavo Järvi's Mahler cycle with the Tonhalle-Orchester of Zürich. Yeah, Symphony number 7. See, it has a 7 here, sort of, kind of. And this is a strange performance of Mahler's Strangest Symphony. It has fabulous moments. First of all, I have to say the playing of the orchestra throughout is outstanding. Järvi really has them digging into the music, and he drives them very hard. We'll get to that. But to what purpose? That is the question. Some aspects of this interpretation are really strange. For example, let's start with the first movement. The tempo relationship between the slow introduction and the main body of the movement is very oddly managed. In general, throughout this performance, Järvi is pushing. He's always pushing forward. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but he tends to minimize the contrast between sections, between slow and fast. And I think that robs the music of some of its scale, first of all. It certainly makes it one of the more unatmospheric performances I've heard ever. It's not that he has the orchestra making all the right sounds, but because of his need for speed, let's just call it that, the music doesn't ever settle down into its, nocturnal, creepy, mysterious subtext. And that's very obvious. It's obvious throughout the symphony. But in the first movement, which generally goes very well, it really does, and because the playing is so good. Everybody is just up front and bold, and it's really terrific. But I do wish that in these slower sections, in that central moonlit episode, he just relaxed a little to let the music's atmosphere take over instead of constantly moving on to the next thing. In the first Nachtmusik, which I think he takes too quickly, again, he plays very beautifully. The orchestra sounds just terrific, but there are moments that you really want to hear some spookiness, like the tango in the middle. It's funny. He gets the accents, he gets the rhythms, but they don't enjoy it. You don't get to relish it. And that wonderful moment with glockenspiel and cowbells, in the recapitulation, da 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 da, and the glockenspiel's going blink 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 blink, and the cowbells are going in the background. I remember my mother said it sounds like sort of a nocturnal Chinese festival. Where she got that image, I don't know. It was in the music. And she was right. You heard it, just went, ooh, yeah. But, Järvi just blows through it. And so much of the charm and character is missing. The Scherzo, however, is absolutely fabulous. It's slithery. It's not crazy fast. Boy, do they dig. The contrabassoon and the low instruments and the cellos and basses digging with chugga chugga chugga. The snap pizzicato will have you jumping right out of your seat. And Järvi doesn't slow down too much at the very end of the movement. Now, see, there you might want a little bit more. Da da da. A little more sleaze in the music rather than just keeping the tempo going and going and going until yada-da, bom plom. It's a bit matter of fact, but boy, is it well played. Now, the second Nachtmusik, the fourth movement, is just awful. It's like actually similar to Boulez. It's fast and cold and insensitive and rushed and charmless, and I just don't get it. If you're not going to schmooze and be sort of tacky and sentimental in that music, why bother? Why bother? You have to do that. It's what Mahler wants. And the finale the very end is just fantastic. With the bells going and the cowbells and the brass screaming, and he gets the right sounds. But again, his handling of tempo in various sections. Some parts are actually in this movement strangely slow when the music needs to move, and crazily fast when the music can slow down a little bit. It's peculiar. It's just peculiar. I enjoyed the performance because it has a certain freshness and newness to it in Järvi's approach, which you won't hear anywhere else, and that's worth something. It really is. But ultimately, I just wish he would have taken his time to really drive home just how marvelous the orchestration is, just how fabulously the orchestra plays. All of these qualities, you need time to savor them just a little bit. The music doesn't lose anything in excitement, if you do that, and it gains a lot in terms of atmosphere. The sonics are very clear, generally very good. I think a bit lacking in bass, as in bass drum bass. The cellos and basses are all there. The bassoons are fantastic, as I said, but there could be more of a bottom to the sound as well. But that's it. I mean, it's not a bad performance by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that as a realization of the work, it's maybe 75%. It's a lot better than a lot of other people do, granted. Let's not kid ourselves. But with the resources he has, the imagination he has, the ability to get whatever he wants from this orchestra, I think he could have made it even better. I really do. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.